Okay guys, I'm here. I'm just switching over to some art. So right now we're in the art chapter of the xsinick show. And I think we're gonna do an onion, right? Let's try that. We did a cucumber last time, and I saw a pretty cool onion, and I took some photos of it on my phone. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just plug my phone in here, and we're gonna get down to the bottom of creating this thing. I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. And yeah, let's jump right in there. So back into my desktop. Let's turn this music down just a little bit. Yeah, so hey, how's it going guys? So what I did, I actually put on in Blender, there's a screencast keys so that you can see the exact keys that I'm pressing. So yeah, I'm gonna jump onto my phone right here, and we're gonna pull up those images of the onions, and I actually have images of onions and garlic, right? So we're gonna pull that right up. Let's organize this by date. So it's Sunday I took those, not Saturday. So I guess that's onion and garlic. So I'm just gonna put it inside of a neat folder I have here. So let's go xsinick Blender tutorial. So this is the cucumber stuff. So I'm gonna make a folder called cucumber. And if you don't know how the cucumber came out in the end, just take a look at the previous video and you'll see it. So the previous videos is more or less tutorials and me having fun. So I'm gonna create a new one, call it onion. Let's do onion and garlic. I think that might be kind of cool. Alright, we're gonna do onion underscore garlic, and I'm just gonna make a folder called images. You know, part of doing like 3D art and all that is being organized. Oh, let's try that again. Oh, let's cancel. Let's try doing that again. Oh, it actually did it. Let's just replace all the files. So let's go in and take a look at this thing. You know, we gotta study our subject before we start modeling it. So this is this is the picture I took at the Indian supermarket. I went with my wife. I went with my wife to check out the Indian supermarket like a few hours ago today, Sunday, and this is what they had, right? Yeah, so this is kind of what they had. So yeah, okay, I'll just adjust my music. So yeah, check it out. This is the onion, man. I thought it looked pretty cool. If we could model this in Blender, I think we'll be doing pretty good, right? What do you think? And then, yeah, so let me show you this. Let me just maximize this to the max. Maximize to the max. That's funny. Okay, so check it out. You see what you know what this is? This is sprouted garlic. They had like a bin full of them and they're all sprouted. Isn't that cool? If we could do stuff like this, then we'll be like styling. Okay, so the reason why I took multiple shots of the onion is because I was planning to do like photogrammetry of the onion, which is, you could do that, right? So I have some photogrammetry program that I could run the images of the onion through, and we'll actually try to reconstruct the onion based upon the photos, you know, into a 3D object, right? So that's photogrammetry. That's what it does. And there's certain applications you use that could extract and detect the object that you're shooting, right? And it will, you know, it will try to do everything in the photo, but you have to take certain amount of photos in succession. And I was in the middle of the grocery and I was taking the photos and the lighting wasn't right and all sort of stuff. But there's another way, right? The other way is to do it in Blender and just using this as a reference, right? So you could do it in several ways. You can match up the perspective and just try to model on top of that, which is kind of cool. So that might be something that I do. You know, I might take this perspective right here, trying to match a perspective up, and we could just do a model and model off of the perspective. So that'll be different than the cucumber one. The cucumber, we took a bunch of reference photos we found online of a cucumber, and then what we did, we modeled like the basic shape, and then we we actually sculpted it and do all different things, and we got the cucumber to look like, so we use the photos as a reference, but I'm actually going to try to use the photo here as a guide to modeling this thing. So I'm going to use this particular image right here because it's very interesting, and we're going to try to model this onion. So we're modeling onion, and maybe at some point, this is a lot of fun for me. I hope it's fun for you too. At some point, maybe we try the garlic, right? I mean, this is complex stuff, right? Excuse me. Gesundheit. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna. I think this might make a pretty cool video. What do you think? Let's go. Let's jump right in there, okay? So that's what we're gonna model. So we could do this several ways, right? We could match up the perspective, and there's programs out there where you could do that. All right, it's called perspective matching, right? It's where you match up the 3D environment to the perspective of the camera that you have here. Now there's a free software that you can do that called FSpy. I don't know if I still have FSpy installed on here, but let's check it out. Let's see if we got FSpy in here. So I'm just going to eject my phone here. All right, let's go and let's look to see if I still have FSpy here. Oh yes, I do. Here's FSpy. This is FSpy. No, with FSpy, you could do that. You could launch. You could Okay, so let's see properties. Let's launch FSpy. See what FSpy look like. Why does this audio sound really loud to me? Let me turn this audio down a little bit. Maybe because it actually is. There you go, that's better. Alright guys, so let's work with FSpy. So FSpy is a free program you can get online. Those guys are good, and they actually made a plugin for Blender. At one minute it was integrated into Blender, and and the guy decided, hey, let's just keep it standalone, and then provide a plugin where you can import the FSpy project into Blender. So let's bring up the images of our onion. So I'm gonna go over to videos. I'm gonna go home. xsinick Blender tutorials, right? So we're gonna come up in here, and we're gonna go onion garlic. This is the new tutorial that we're doing, new chapter. So we're gonna go image. We're gonna look for a really nice image. I think if I go here with Linux, so my computer looks a bit different because I use Linux. So I think I like this one, although this is a little more descriptive. There's also a little blur on there. This is not that descriptive. I think I'm gonna try to match this one, and we're gonna use this one, guys. So if you want to follow me, I'm gonna just zoom in to the image, and you could take a screenshot. Okay, so take a screenshot of this if you like, because these are the actual photos that I did, and I don't want to put them up online for you to think, but you could check it out, and then take a screenshot of this. You could do that right now. Pause the video. This is just learning, guys. You could do your own onion. You could take a picture of your own onion. Okay, so here we are. We're going to use this photo. So I'm going to grab this photo. Which photo is this? 915. So let's go 915, this one. I'm going to grab this guy, drop him into FSpy. You could drag and drop. So I have FSpy in the background. Let me show you what it is actually. So this is FSpy. So my browser. Drag that in there. Boom. Right? So I don't want to dim the image. You could dim the image if you want to see the guides. So these are the guides. You have to place these guides on very straight parallel edges of the photo, and it will try to match up the perspective in which you took the photo, right? So I'm going to do it along the edge of this I'm going to do it along the edge of this scale that I put the onion on. So let's take this part here, and if you hold shift you could kind of see more. So I'm going to hold shift, bring it down to that point, that part right there. Bring it over here. I think the scale may not be 100% because it's kind of it's not 100% perfect, but let's see what we get. I'm gonna put this here, put that there on the edge, and you want to put it along the furthest points you can find, right? So that actually this is 2, right? So let's go here, bring this here, and let's hold and shift just so I can see the very close-up pixel of it, right? And then we want to put these like so. So I'm gonna put this one on this one, put that one on and that one more or less. Let's see. Let's try for right here. So this is not necessarily the right plane that this is on. It's not, you know. So let's see. Let's see how we could organize this a little bit better. So this might be throwing it off right here. This is correct. So let's take this and let's try to line this back up with this here. Of course it's not liking that, so I'm gonna come over here to this point here and let's do something like this. So basically when you're doing this kind of stuff, you want like a perfect square or more or less to line it up. I'm just gonna do this for now, and I'm watching how this is being angled. Now this is the origin, so I'm gonna grab this and I want the origin somewhere like right here, kind of like between here and here, between here and here. Okay, just kind of rough it out. So unless you have like perfectly parallel edges that you could see, you just have to like make, you know, kind of put it on things that make sense. You see, like I don't actually have an edge here, so I'm just kind of guessing here. Right. So yeah, so this is cool for now. This will get us started. So I like this. Let's see. So you could this is rectangle mode. So we got 2 reference distance default. Okay, that's fine. You could turn like a box on to see how the box lines up to it, or you could do like a grid. XY grid. So you could see, you know, so it's gridded out like this. So you could see if things make sense more or less. Let's see if things make sense. If things okay, so with the grid, you know, this looks, you know, kind of more or less good for me. So I would call this, you know, done. Let's see this other grid here. Let's see this other grid here. Okay, it's interesting. Let's move this along here. Let's put back the other grid. All right, you see I'm watching like where this part ends up, so let's just double checking here, guys. Yeah, I'm just really watching the way how this is being laid out. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay guys, so I think we got it right here. So I'm just going to save this file. Save. Let's save this in our tutorial folder. Onion garlic. Put this onion photo match. Okay. I don't want that dim image anymore. I want it full blast. Okay, so that's my onion. Let's do a save again. Okay, so now once you download FSpy, go on their site and you'll see a link to be able to get like the plugin, right? So we're gonna, I already have the plugin installed. Okay, so now if you look down there, you'll see all the keys that I use being displayed by Blender because I have that that screencast keys enabled, so it's a lot better. So let's go here, import. Let's look for FSpy. Do I have it in here? FSpy, FSpy, FSpy. Huh, I thought I actually... Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to try to install that. I thought I had it installed already. Okay. I'm gonna do a search for FSpy. FSpy. Nope, so I do not have it installed. Okay, let's go here and let's see if we can get the installation. So we're gonna go in software. I'm gonna go to my FSpy thing here. This is FSpy Blender. Here you go. Here's a plugin right there. Okay, so now we got the plugin, so we can import the FSpy native file that we saved in FSpy. So I go File, Import FSpy down here. Right. We're just gonna go over to xsinick tutorials, onion. Just make this a little bit better. Onion, that's it right there. I'm gonna import project, and here we go. You see that? So that's the camera view of the project. So let's go into wireframe mode. Okay. So now that it is lined up the same way it's supposed to be lined up in FSpy. So what you could do, you could split screen in Blender, and you know, you just come up here to the tip top and you drag across. I'm just gonna hide this by pressing T. Let's go into the camera options. So I'm just gonna get rid of these the camera and the light here for a minute, so that we focus on the FSpy stuff. So, and then I'm gonna just rotate in here because this is gonna be our onion. You're gonna use a cube as the base. Actually, let me think about that. You could use a sphere if you like, and just kind of work with it that way, right? But yeah, let's try that. Let's delete the cube. Okay, so I'm gonna go in the FSpy thing here on the camera and go under viewport display. I'm just gonna tune that to black, and I'm gonna where it has the background image, I'm gonna go full instead of opacity 0.5. I'm gonna go full on the opacity because I want to see everything as clear as possible. Then up here in Blender, there's a filter thing right here. If you follow my mouse, click on that, and then you want to turn the selectable filter on, and then just turn it off. Turn off selectability, so you don't select the camera by accident. Okay. Okay, so now let's start with a basic sphere, and let's try to move this into like the shape of the onion, and that's how we're going to start that. And then we'd use polygon modeling to get the rest of this stuff, right? So I'm gonna make a sphere. So UV sphere. And we're gonna bring the subdivisions as low as we can for now. Okay. So we're gonna go back up here. Just look at the sphere. Okay. Let's see what's good. I'm gonna turn on my thing. So I think this is good for now, and then we could add more as we go, right guys? You want to keep things simple. So I'm just gonna press tab, press G, and you press Z1, and that'll bring that the whole all the components of the object up, so that your point, so that the origin is at the bottom, right? And this is not the final resting place of the origin, but it's a start, right? So in here, right, I'm just gonna rotate as my view just as I see, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, it's like that. Let's just do that in here. Where's the camera? Yeah, let's just rotate right here. Oops, tab. I'm gonna press R. Just gonna rotate that. Okay, so I'm realizing you might not see my keys right here, so I'm gonna go into that screencast keys and see if I could help that out. So let's try for yellow. It's a little bit better. All right, I'm gonna do a little background. That's a little bit better. And drawer area, text area. Okay, let's go drawer area. Okay, so that's the background there. I don't know if I could turn the opacity of the background on. Region left, background opacity. That's fine. We'll just leave it like that, guys, so you guys can see clearly what I'm doing without any question. Okay. Yeah, so we just want to rotate. How should I? Actually, let's go with a cube. I think that's just easier. All right, so my bad. Let's go with a cube. Okay, so we got a cube. Let's just rotate it in place. Let's rotate. And you kind of want to give it a general idea of where the onion is. Grab G. Okay, we're just doing a view based right now. So I'm going between this view and this view. Okay, so we got that. So I think that's fine. So I'm just gonna go into edit mode, and we're gonna stick in edit mode here, and we're gonna start editing on this. All right, so I'm gonna select this, select these points. I'm gonna press S for scale. I'm gonna bring that out a smidgen. All right, we're gonna hold Shift Alt to get a loop select. I'm gonna grab that guy, do the G, kind of bring him down a bit. We're just gonna rock the basic shape of this onion, right? Let's bring that like about so. Bring him like about here. And we're just gonna come here and just keep track of that. All right, so I'm just gonna grab that in view. G, gonna put it right here. So you have to, so the way how we're drawing, how we're making this onion is probably not the best way, right? So you could basically make this onion with a late. So there's different ways you could late the onion as a basic shape and rotate it into position, or you could do what we're doing here, like all with polygons and points and all that. There's no set way on how to go about actually creating something like this in 3D. Some ways may be faster than others, but whichever way that you could do the best, that's the way you should go. That's basically what it comes down to. I'm just gonna scale that out a bit. All right, I'm a point pusher, so I like to pull and push points. It may not be for everyone, but that's what I like to do. And for some people, they don't like that, and to them it's wasting a lot of time. But hey, we're having fun right here on the show. This is not like actually like a jobby job. So this may be the harder way to do it, but let's do it anyway. Let's go. Okay, so I'm watching this and I'm thinking, Nick, xsinick, you know, maybe you should go with a sphere. So this is how we're gonna figure this out. Let's delete that. What a tutorial. Okay, let's go. Let's go with a sphere. Okay, and I'm gonna show you a little trick here with a sphere. So we're gonna go with a sphere, UV sphere. We're gonna keep it low like that, right? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a lattice to this. So let's go. We create a lattice. I think with a lattice you could scale it up around like so. We're just gonna add like just a few points to this lattice. We're gonna add like one of those, one of these, and one of those, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do with the lattice. And we're gonna come here and parent this to the lattice. Control, select this, then the lattice, and then Alt P, lattice deform. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Let's undo that. Let's come here, Control A, rotate scale. Let's try Control P. Yeah, I had in mind because we modified the lattice in where the lattice is. So let me see something. Add rest position and lattice. Okay, I'm not gonna do any of these things here. Let's just delete the lattice and try again. Okay, so I'm gonna go a lattice, do a new lattice and scale in the object level. There you go. That's how you're supposed to do that. And then we're gonna add some marks like so. Now we're gonna parent that to that. Right. Okie dokie. Right. So what I'm gonna do, so now we have the lattice and all that selected, I'm gonna make another object, right? Only because I want to model the onion right side up also and then have it flip back, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come here and we're gonna add an empty node right in there. And we're gonna parent the lattice object to this empty, right? And we're gonna use the empty to rotate stuff and to rotate it back and all that sort of stuff. So let's see, Control P. Oops, sorry. Yep, we're going from the lattice to the empty. Control P, object. All right. So grab. Oh, did it not? Oh, can you parent a lattice to an empty? You can. Control P. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now. Alright, so okay, here we go. So we're in the transform of the empty, right? And let's get down to business here. Let's rotate this into view using the empty. So I'm going to use my rotation tool. Let's rotate that. And this part here is going to be the top. This part here is going to be the bottom. All right, so we're going to get that in view somewhat. And remember, the onion is an irregular shape. It's not like a perfect onion shape. So I'm just going to scale that. Just to get it somewhat okay. And I think this point here, we're just trying to get it close as possible. Don't have to be 100%. Scale that some. Okay. Take that. This might be an overkill, but hey, this is what we're doing. I'm teaching you some techniques here. All right, so now, yeah, this may have been overkill, guys, but whatever. So now we're gonna press 0 to use the soft selection. We'll do this and press grab, and you see that that's the soft selection. I'm gonna use on the lattice a little bit, right? I'm gonna use this to kind of sculpt parts of this. So I'm thinking these top parts here needs to be smaller. Guys, yeah, this may have been overkill. It's all good, guys. We're gonna get there. Okay, and I think this onion now, and the bottom two is gonna be scaled, so you could drag and you could do that also using a lattice scale. Right? Just want a general shape of it. Scale. Well, look at that. It's kind of conforming. Just bring this guy up here like so. Right, now we could go in and do more stuff, right? Where we just want to get somewhat there. Okay. So now we're going to focus on this. Yeah, so that may have been overkill, guys, but it's all good. We're going to get there. We're just going to apply all that. Sorry for the overkill. We probably didn't need any of that to do half of that. Oh, let's go back here, select that. Now let's clear the parent, clear and keep transform. Control C again. Oh, mine is Alt C to kind of clear. What you want to do is apply you want to apply all your modifiers that's on here, and you want to do Alt P to clear that. Let's see, empty. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, I may have been doing overkill. So whatever it takes to get it to this point, I could have done a simpler thing, which is just to select this, and we have the soft selection on, and then you just grab parts here mesh, right? So that's what you should do. It's a lot simpler. My bad. Let's just continue. Let's just use a raw mesh. I shouldn't try other really hard methods for anyone. I just really wanted it to be as proper as possible. That's what I did. But the onion is irregular, so it's all good. Okay. So I'm watching it now. So this onion is all about the shape of it. So I'm gonna write. All right. So the ideal thing, most people what they would have done, or what I could have done. Oops. Let's turn the soft selection off. All right. And just gonna do like that, like so. You know what I would have done, or what anybody else would have done, would be to model the onion upright and then rotate it into the position you want, and then you could deform it. But you know me, I like things hard, so just kidding. So let's get to it, right? Let's do that. Rotate that a little bit. So this was a general shape of this onion. That's why I looked at it and I was like, man, I gotta do this thing. Face. Let's check this out real quick here. Let's do something like that. Let's take a look. Yeah, this onion had an irregular shape like that. That's basically what it was. Let's rotate here and let's scale this just to kind of smooth out the top there a bit. Yeah. Okay. Select everything. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna scale. I'm just gonna do something like that a little bit. Okay, so now, we're gonna be creative and create a lot of this stuff. You could do this in so many different ways, but let's just do this in one way. So this part here has a lot of like these things that are flicking out, like the skin. So let's make this one large piece of skin, dried up onion skin here. And a good way of doing that is this. So if you come here and you click this button, all you see is this button up here. It's like X-ray toggle. You'd only see the edges and points that are facing you rather than seeing all the way through. And this helps, right? And then you're gonna go press K and a knife tool, and you're just gonna start cutting along the shape as you see it here in the image, right? And it could be rough. It doesn't have to be on the money. Although you could scroll in and actually do it perfectly along the edge. But for now, let's not do it too much on the money. Let's press back there a bit. Control Z. Do this. Do so. All right, we're just gonna grab. We're just gonna do this. So this is actually like a layer that's on top, but we're gonna just try to see how it would look if we cut that out that way, right? All right, so you see that shape right there, right? We don't know what the other side of the shape is, so we're just gonna create that for ourselves. So let's go K. Supposed to be organic, but it's all good, guys. We could just do something like this, right? This is cool for now. Right? Part of doing like 3D like this is actually understanding how to just pick your battles. To be able to model almost excuse me, almost anything, you have to be willing to take those risks, right? The risk to do it a certain way. Let's just jump in here and do that. All right, so that's gonna be our skin, right? And you know, you could do that so many other ways, but right now I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm just gonna do Shift D, duplicate that, and press P to separate it. So that's a piece there. All right, we're gonna come here and do all this creative fluffy stuff on top. There's many different ways you could do that. You could create cards with alpha channels and do all sorts of stuff, right? But for now, this is how we're gonna do it. B, oops, select that, Control B, and then V, right, to get something like this. And then we're just gonna extrude that bad boy. Oops, with an E, flare them out, see, like so. All right, now I'm gonna come here and grab, right, and this is gonna be like the basis of all that confusion up there, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just delete that. Actually, let's keep this thing here, and let's press P to separate it. Oh, not P, let's press Y to separate it. Then you're gonna press S to scale. Right, so we got something like that. Alright, so what you're basically doing is creating like this rough model that you're gonna start finessing just using strict what do you call it? You know, strict modeling skills, you know. We could dump it into you know, into the sculpting and do even more stuff, but let's just stick with this. So let's create all this drama up there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna knock this guy back like so. Just for now. Let's press E to extrude. Right, I'm just gonna rotate him a bit. Grab him over here. That's gonna scale. Right. So what's going on here is different shoots are coming up. So we could emulate that, right? So do you want to emulate that? We could emulate it in so many ways in here. But the way I think we should emulate it is like this. We just want to stick. You could emulate it by making actual splines that will actually grow the polygons out to these shapes. But let's just do it like a very low-tech way, right? So what I'm gonna do is select. It's good to know like how to just brute force do things in polygons, right? So I'm gonna selections, and this is going to be a whole thing right here, right? Let's go into edit mode. Let's Control R. Right, we're gonna do this, right? And we're just dealing with all these green shoots that's coming out, right? So the thing about when you're doing this kind of work, you want to rough out all your shapes as quickly as possible. The more time you spend on details or things that are not working, the more discouraged you'll get. That's been at least my experience. And the more scarier the modeling task becomes, because you know you're gonna be, it's gonna try to make, it's gonna look insurmountable. You know, like you can't do it because you know you're spending a lot of time. So you just want to rough things out, even if it's not 100%, and you're just gonna rely on your eye and some techniques and the opinions. If you get the opinions of other people, you know, to give constructive criticism, you know, you're gonna reach, you're gonna be able to do that stuff. So I'm just gonna delete this one out. Delete X faces. Okay, I'm gonna come back into this. All right, so we're just gonna come here. We're looking at that. Select that. All right, I'm gonna press Control B. Oop, and turn vertice off. Whoop. I think we got something wrong here. Let me just select that again. Control B. Ooh. Okay, I think I have something wrong here. Let's come here. Let's go Control A, like so. Let's grab that. Okay. Select that. Control B. Huh. What is going on here? I have something weird happening to my. Let's see. I don't know what's happening here. This is very strange stuff. We're gonna fix it, guys. Let's see what's going on with our parts here. Let's select this edge, one edge, grab it. Is there double edges in here? Let's grab this. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Scale. Okay, let's make another thing. Grab like that. Let's grab here. We'll zoom in. You could zoom in Blender like this infinitely, and then that's what I like about Blender. It gives you like the freedom. So we're just making loops. We're just kind of roughing this shape out here. You can see my you can see the keys down there. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is just duplicate this guy, right? I'm gonna duplicate him. Now this is the other shoot right here. Okay, so I think let's select. I'm just gonna select the bottom here, and I'm gonna bring the pivot point all the way to the bottom of this thing. So Shift, cursor to selected, right? Shift F. Let's go. Okay. So now we got that to this. Let's do like 3 shoots coming out. I'm gonna rotate this. I'm gonna do something like so. I'm gonna scale it a bit. I'm just gonna rotate it like that, grab. So something like that. And I'm gonna grab this again. Grab this guy. let's do something like this. I'm doing something like this. We're creating kind of like a shoot, you know, like this going back. So I want the shoot to actually all come to like some kind of point. So I'm just rotating and just grabbing things in view. And hopefully all this is going to lead to some kind of organic feel. You know, that this is a plant that's growing. All I could do is hope and dream. Hey, that almost song's good with the music. Let's go. Okay, so we did something like kind of like this, right? And that's kind of like a bunch of shoots. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna rotate this part here a bit. So you can hold Control and right click, and it will actually extrude to wherever your mouse cursor is. I think that's another neat feature of Blender. Grab that. Rotate. Grab that up. Grab that. Grab that. Okay, so notice what I'm doing. I'm just kind of grabbing the loops and just moving these bunch of vertices that's connected to the loops around. Let me just press R to rotate in view. Alright, so we're just going to select the faces here. Scale that a bit. Just to make sure. Just like a bunch, just do that. Scale. Like that, scale. Alright, just to make sure, guys. Alright. I'm just gonna go in vertex mode and just pull these vertices out. You want to tweak, you want to use a tweak tool, right? So just press W until you see this icon up there, and it's a tweak tool. And that allows you to move points and any other component that you have selected. So I'm just going to select this, this, and this, and have it all merged to one point, to this object. So I'm going to press Ctrl J. I'm just going to join them together like so. So that's one cluster, right? And if you notice, you know, there's more clusters to this, right? But before we continue, I just want to break away and make a hole, break away this kind of floret thing that we have here and make a hole, right? Oh, let's come out of sculpt mode. Let's go back into edit mode. Control tab, edit. Okay, let's come out of there. Okay, so you see these onion things. Let's create something like that. But before we do that, let's deal with our skin right there. Skin is a little annoying, right? So I'm gonna just come here in edit mode. Oop. Let's come on edit mode. Let's select one. Right there, like so. Select the point. Shift cursor to selected. And right, and I'm just gonna rotate this skin out just a smidgen. Just gonna scale them up a smidgen. Oops. Okay, let's try scaling again. I think I was a little too close. Let's see what it's doing. So you see that there? Okay. So we just did something there. That's fine. Let's just hide that guy for now and just deal with the whole onion. Just like a wrapper thing. Alright, so let's see. What I want to do is to select this here and let's get some kind of extra piece going here and to scale that back in, so that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of it has a slight something going on. And I'm just going to select 1, 2. Let's see. Let's select 2 of these like so and separate that P selection. But let's select the rest like so. Let's delete those X faces. Alright. And what we want to do, we want to put a pivot on here. So we'll do that, shift, cursor to selected, select that, insert. Let's just scale that out a bit, just like that. And I'm just gonna go in the edge mode here. I'm just gonna bevel that edge and just add an extra point. So that's that kind of skin that's coming out there. I'm just gonna rough that up some. Let's in view right here. Take this, snap that back. Alright. Not perfect, but we're gonna get there, guys. So actually, let's try to close this hole up, because you know there's no real hole there. So I'm just gonna go extrude, scale. All right, I'm just gonna grab that, bring that up some like so. I'm just gonna fill that in with a F, add faces, right? All right, and we're gonna use this as like some skin flaps or whatever it is to kind of cover that up. And it's, you know, under just layers of skin, right? And you could mimic that with you know, with alphas and that kind of thing, with alpha channels and planes, right? But before we do that, let's see if we could organize this guy right here. You know, just one shoot right here. Let's grab this, rotate that. Let's grab, move that guy down. Grab that, move that guy like so. Let's grab, move that guy down like so. Let's rotate that. Let's move that guy down. Let's make another loop cut here. Being able to control and brute force polygons, I think, is like one of the most satisfying things about 3D modeling. So we got like a group here. Let's duplicate that group. All right, let's just move him along like so. Let's just do a little rotation on this group. So like the rotation axis is all out of whack. That's fine. Just come in view and let's rotate. Right, we're gonna get something close. Let's rotate. Okay. I think I want this to rotate so that these things are like so. And rotate them out like so. What you can even do is press tab and then you could press 0 to turn on your soft selection. You can select just one point and you can just grab, and if it's large enough, maybe it's too large, just bring it down a bit. And then you could kind of move like, you know, like certain parts of this. Grab, let's move it down a little bit. Right, and you could kind of almost kind of stretch them into position. Grab. Right, make it, press G to control the size. You press grab, let's do that. Do this, let's do that. Right guys? Alright, you don't want to go overboard, you just want to go good enough. Okay. Oops. Grab that point, press G, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so I can get a little more influence. So this is another good way. It's kind of almost like sculpting, but it's more like moving a bunch of points with like a fall off. Oops. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now let's get these other parts up here. Many ways you could do this, right? So let's just choose a way. It's gonna come here and show you something cool. So you could just grab like a polygon, shift D, duplicate that. And I bring that in a general position. You could just start right there. You don't even have to like be crazy about it. Whoop, let's turn that soft selection off by pressing O. And you could just start like this, guys. It's, you know, in the end, it's whatever works for you and how your head works with trying to get this thing done. Little chaotic, but hey, it works. So face, just trying to see where this lands. Okay, so I think this should be off to the side here. So I'm gonna go to like autographic view where we grab that guy, make that guy like so. Grab that guy down. G. Let's just join these. Let's just actually, is this actually part? So let's just make this separate. So like a polygon, make that separate. Come in here. Select these two. Press Ctrl J to join them. Select this here. Yeah, this polygon is by itself. Okay, lovely. Now let's move the points in a way and the edges in a way that makes sense. Just take a look into 3D. Whenever you move anything in view right here, always inspect it in 3D because that's where it's gonna actually live. So I'm gonna do something like this, and I'm just gonna start this off like so. Whoop. Let's get back our camera view. Okay, let's do that. Right, trying to keep it as basic as possible. Okay, here we go. So now I'm gonna select these things here, and I'm gonna hold Control and right click. Scale. Just scale that back again. Okay, and it's gonna go all the way to the edge here with just one of the leaves, one of the shoots. Just gonna scale that. Generally the shape of this. Let's do something like so. Right, and then you're gonna press Control R. I'll do a bunch like that, and then grab, move them into place. And then you're just gonna take the points and just kind of put them to the side there. Right? It's a blade. Let's just press R here. I'm just gonna do this and just raise the, come here in this view here. And just raise, you know, let's give it a little, so it's not flat. Alright. I'm gonna add some thickness to this, so we're gonna come here in the modifier. And let's just add solidify to that, so there's a little bit of thickness. Let's just make the thickness a little bit more, maybe something like that. I'm just gonna apply the modifier. You could probably apply the modifier by coming right here, come out of edit mode, come right here and press apply. Right, and you get some thickness happening there. Just gonna select these points right here. I'm just gonna move them down. The thickness is more like that. Right, and what I want to do is okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to select these points here and I'm going to collapse them. Or rather, you could select the edge, I think, and then go Alt M, collapse center, Alt M, Alt M, collapse center, Alt M, collapse center, Alt M, collapse, Alt M, collapse, M, collapse, M, collapse. I'm going to leave it like that. Let's do that to this. Alt M, collapse, M, collapse. Okay, so we got something like this happening here. Let's just come back into this view and just kind of like arrange the points so that it's somewhat in the same shape. Okay. as the viewport here. So that's one. Right. I'm gonna select that guy, duplicate him. Then we're gonna just rotate in view here. So it's kind of like so. Then we're gonna come here. We're gonna move this down. Put it in perspective like this. Let's rotate. Let's rotate here again. Let's just scale this so we get it to that point, to the top. And we're just gonna move the vertices so that it kind of resembles the shape of that. Right. So we could do a lot more finessing, and making sure this thing is properly in the way it probably should be. But for now, we're just moving points around. Get a general feel for what this might be. So, or feel for what this should look like. I'm gonna turn off the obscurity, and I could see the other points here. So I'm just gonna bring those in a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Let's go R. You know what? Let's collapse these points, these parts here. So I'm gonna just isolate this so I can get the one onion sprout blade. And Alt M, collapse. Alt M, collapse. So right click, Control R. We'll scale that. Oops. Scale. Okay, that's a little bit better. Scale. Okay, just looking at some of this stuff. See, it's all kind of wacky, but that's fine. You know, once we add like a subdivision surface on this, it's gonna make everything nice or even better. Let's do something like this. Yep. You know, you adjust anywhere that you see, and I'm pressing on my keyboard, I'm pressing that slash button, and that takes it in and out of isolate. Let's do this, these two, collapse. Get rid of that thickness there. Let's right click. Let's do something like that and scale. Scale that a bit. Okay, so let's do the other shoots, and we're almost there. Just grab that like so. I just like adjusting things, and I think this for me coming in like pulling and pushing vertices like this comes from like when you're modeling like a human being, like faces. You got no choice but to push these around to some degree, you know, to some degree. You know, I mean, there's techniques where you probably don't have to really touch them, you know, but it's kind of, I think it's kind of a little bit good to know how to force a shape in polygons. So we're gonna select that main back one there. I like the way that one is turned out. So the shoots, I'm thinking wants to grow like at an angle, right? So it should be like this. So I'm gonna do that, grab this, move that down like so. I'm just gonna rotate this by my back. Scale, right? Something like that. And let's come here. Let's do D, let's rotate this guy. Let's just rotate him into place. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Let's grab it and move it in place here. I'm just gonna rotate it out like so. Right, and then we're gonna rotate that in place. It's no biggie, no biggie. It's not 100%. Scale. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I think that's what attracted me to this onion when I saw it in the Indian grocery. Um, there's a fact that it wasn't it was kind of irregular and not perfect and not like the others. Scale this, right? Let's make the last shoot here. Whoa, let's go back. Shift D, and I think this one has to be higher up, so I'm just gonna move it. Alright, so you gotta have an eye for observation when you're doing this stuff. I'm just gonna scale this guy down so he's like about so. Rotate him, you know, and you just keep adjusting until things look like it should. Until things look right, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna grab these points, move them kind of into place. Grab these. Okay. So just in view, I'm moving this around. Alrighty, so you see we got like a bunch of shooting out, forming this crazy object. So I'm gonna just group all these together. So these are one. I think these shoots are another one. So I'm just gonna press Control J. So that's a bunch right there. Okay, so just to confirm what we're doing is making some sort of sense. Right, I'm just gonna come here and just add a subdivision surface on this. Right click and go smooth shade. Oh, not simplify, subdivision surface. Subdivision surface. Oh, here we go. So that's cool. Let's add a subdivision surface on this subdivision surface. Okay, so you see what we got there, guys? It's gonna make this smooth. Right, so now you know we could like even go further and just like tweak it, right? So I'm just gonna tweak these like that. So select this point here, grab them. Okay. You're just tweaking it, guys, just to get it to the pixel. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right, as a matter of fact, it's probably not going to be perfect, and probably better that it's not perfect. Scale this part here. Let's grab this. So we're going to subsurface these things in the end. So we get a nice looking model that we could then add a material to. And I'll show you guys how to do different techniques to get materials on this kind of stuff really fast. You know, using this projection modeling kind of guide technique. Oh, look at that! This guy didn't get. Let's go J. Okay, here he goes. He's now joined on there. So right click, let's go smooth again. Yep. Okay. Okay guys, so we got something kind of like this, right? So we could continue to work on this to make it better, right? Okay, let's add. Okay, so these onion skin things, right, is something that we could like we could do some more editing on this main onion. So let's just add like another subsurface on this guy just to see what the shape is. So this is a shape, right? Let's make that smooth. Okay. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna click this thing here so we can see the final subsurface shape. I'm just gonna use my sculpt 0 and grab. So we want the radius on this to be a lot bigger. Let's do that. We want to affect the overall size and just kind of force it into shape, more or less. Right? This. So I'm gonna grab this guy and move him down. Yeah. So this onion had like a turnipy shape in the grocery. Okay, let's take a look at the overall shape here. Okay. Alright, so it's kind of like we're doing like a soft sculpt. You're just watching the silhouette, you know, we want to grab the silhouette of the onion. Alright, then we're going to deal with the onion skins later. So for now, guys, oh, let me take a look at this. Okay, so there's a little tear there. That's fine, because we did some wacky stuff with the points right here, so that's fine. Okay, let's see if we can grab that back. Let's turn that off actually. So we could grab some of these things back, and let's get rid of these cuts. Control X. I think we did. Now let's put this back. There we go. Alright guys, so for now we're gonna pause right here, right? And you know, we're getting the onion happening, you know, in a small way. Let's just rotate this guy into place. Hit him a little bit of a scale, and we could deal with this guy later. You know, this is just like a, you know, like a peel. Rotate that. Right, we could deal with that later, guys. A really weird onion that I found in the grocery, and I decided, hey, you know, this will make a pretty cool 3D model to try to do to follow up my cucumber. You know, so let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. So alright guys, so this is xsinick show. I think we're just gonna leave it like this. I think we're just going to leave it like this, and we're going to continue at another time, and we're going to flesh out, you know, all this papery stuff here, you know, that we see, all the extra skin that the onion has and that kind of thing. So all right guys, so let's see. Alright guys, yeah, so this is xsinick. I'm signing out. You have a great night. Thanks for joining me. We're going to continue on this journey here, modeling an onion in Blender, and you know, occasionally playing some games just to de-stress. It's all good. God is good. Have a good night.